Well, with your president, you got to expect similar types of actions, some like we told you about earlier today. And I wanted to share with you because we've got to get into some of your president's presentations around the world. And let me tell you, folks, boy, is he impressive. You know, I've got to think that world leaders are really impressed by the way that your president conducts himself in international relations and on the international stage. In fact, he displayed his dazzling levels of diplomacy at the G20 recently. You remember Mohammed bin Salman, or Mohammed bin Salman, depending on how people want to pronounce it, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. The guy Biden said was like a brutal murderer, right? Mm-hmm. Who, you know, they say had that guy who was supposed to be a journalist, maybe, sort of, killed in Turkey. And I guess at the end of the day, it seems like that's pretty well established that that's what happened. They had a special crew fly in and sort of dismember him at the embassy. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it. But obviously, Mohammed bin Salman is not messing around. And you just got to wonder what he thinks about Biden's approach to diplomacy here. You're going to hear from Biden himself. You got to hear Biden talk about some of his international colleagues at the G20 summit.
And I particularly want to thank Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and President von der Leyen and the European Commission. And since he's not speaking today, I wanted to, well, maybe he is speaking today. I had a note he wasn't speaking. At any rate, I'm going to stop there.
No, I wish you wouldn't. I really wish you wouldn't stop there. Your president is hilarious.
He should call him MBS.
Mohammed bin Salman.
That's the easier way to, just keep it simple, initials.
He never got it right.
We should just keep him home.
That's right. You know who we should do? We should send Kamala Harris. Can you imagine what we'd get out of her? The word salad that we'd get out of her? Well, from there, Biden went over to Vietnam, which, by the way, started out his tour with a reference to what he called the song, Good Morning Vietnam. You remember that song, don't you, Pat George? The song with Robin Williams, that funny song / movie, the song. But I'm not really sure when you're going to visit Vietnam that, bringing up something about, a movie about the Vietnam War is probably really where you wanted to go there. Maybe don't mention that part of our history with them if we're trying to build a positive future. Obviously, everybody knows what's happened. But I'll tell you, Biden really let it fly in Vietnam where he revealed, and you've got to listen, and I'm sorry there's long pauses. I can't help it. That's your president, okay? He pauses like that. But he actually revealed something pretty important and something a lot of people are asking questions about, which is who is giving the president orders? Because you'll hear him say in this next clip as he fumbles around trying to figure out which reporter he is supposed to be calling on, you'll hear him say, I'm following orders. And then reporters basically doesn't know who to call, and so they start saying, call on me, basically raising their hands. And he says, I'm not calling on you. You're not on the list, basically. Listen to your president. You got to hear. He's following orders. And so the question is, who is giving orders to the President of the United States?
And let's see. I'm just following my orders here.
Just following my orders here. Just following my orders here. Just thinking about things.
Staff, if anybody hasn't spoken, I ain't calling on you. I told them I said they had 5 questions. Anita, VOA.
So he says, staff, is there anybody who hasn't spoken yet? And then all the reporters take the, me. And he says, I ain't calling on you. I only got 5 questions. I'm just following orders. That's your president, just following orders. He's given 5 little cards of who he's supposed to call on. He can't even remember who's been called on and who hasn't. He's got to, in the middle of a press conference, appeal to his staff. Have you ever seen that from a U.S. president? Standing up there and just have to yell out, staff, what do I do now? Staff, can somebody take me to the bathroom, please? I've got to go. That's your president. We have another clip from Vietnam. You got to hear the end of that press conference. After that clip right there, aren't you wanting to hear the end of that one? I am. And you'll hear at the end of it how his staff helps him out. You'll like that. We'll play the end of that, and we will talk about a few other stories that we've got to get into today, including a little bit of an update on Maui for you when we come back on the Morgan Streetman Show.
Here we go back on the Morgan Streetman Show, and this is somewhat of an extension of the This Is Your President segment. We're not going to hear from him again, but we do want to follow up with his recent trip after his G20 trip to India, a stop in Vietnam.
Well, you will hear a little something from him here. But
we will. Okay, good. Good.
Staff wishes that you wouldn't believe me. So let's hear the end of that press conference that we played the clip from for you previously. And this is how it ended. Remember the previous clip, he was having to just sort of call out the staff. Is there anyone else that I need to call on? So now you can actually hear the end of the press conference and how elegant of a finish it is. Listen up.
We talked about at the conference overall. We talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the southern hemisphere had access to change it, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all.
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, cut off by his own staff. How about that?
Was that music from Mr. Rogers as he left?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was elevator music, but that's right, Mr. Rogers. That's what it sounds like.
Cue the music. Wow. I mean, you heard he was still trying to finish his sentence there. Thank you. The staff jumps in. Thank you very much. That's your president, folks. Impressing people all around the world. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.